let's introduce the piezo electric surgery. This one composed to the main motor part, and then is a handpiece, and then put pedal. So this is a regular, similar to the regular implant motor instrument. So there is a part to the handpiece first. There is the electronic vibrate disc inside. So this one is 20 to 30 second vibration per second. So it's creating a lot of heat to the tip. So let me show you first of the machine setup. So usually this is power, the resonance power. So this is up to 50, but we are recommended to using it to 45 setup, because if you too much power and creating a lot of heat to necrosis to the bone during the surgery time. And then there is a vibration rate. We try to get a maximum to the 100 part. So this is kind of power to the vibrate. That means piezo is electric go to the disc, and there is a disc to in the handpiece inside that creating the vibrate cutting machine. It's not actually cutting machine, but it's vibrating to the breaking down. That's what the piezoelectric. So we're going to show you the whatever basic science the details. But first of all, we set up the 100 for the vibration, and then water. It can be up till 100, but 80 is set up as water. So there is the power and vibration and water. So that's creating to the electric comes to the handpiece to transfer to the main tip. So let's go to, so now let's talk about the piezo tip. It has multiple use for different procedures, such as decorticate the bone, cleaning the socket, extraction tools, and sinus lateral window and crestal approach. But all the details, then we're going to go through the lecture time. But right now, this is we're using introduce the Son tip. So Son 016. This is a very sharp tip. No internal irrigate water, but it creating a lot of decorticate and cleaning the socket and all the purpose. The initial osteotomy. And this one is a crestal approach when you're using it. The internal water comes from the tip. So it has a little bit bigger size of tip, bigger head on the size of tip. Then this is saw tip. It's showing at the tip has like a saw type. So it can cutting actually the more detailed lateral window and such as. So those are three tips we're using at the in our live surgery program. And then I'm going to show you how to attach to the handpiece. So, and then this is the wrench. So when you look at the hole, there's two of them. So there is a one round one and then square one. So when you look at the surgical tip, there is a round part. So we usually to attach this way, going in like this, and then go to the round part, and then there is a one square section. So we have to adapt to that square section and then let it turn. So it'll, when you look at the inside, it's automatically lock system. So once you get certain pressure, and then it stop, and then it lock to the handpiece, then just spin out. Safe lock system. So let's go to the handpiece right now. So I bring the handpiece and holding by one hand, and then make sure that it go to the first right thread, go into that and then lightly clockwise turn, and certain point is like this. After that, I bring my wrench, go to the circle part first, and then make a slot to move into the slot, and then just clockwise, holding this and then holding that this way, and then just turn lightly. Once you go to the lock, and then normal spin it. So that's make sure that it's tight to the tip of the handpiece. Okay. The next one is since we push the pedal, and it's supposed to be water comes together with this tip vibration, because when you see the tip, it has a lot of 20 to 30 second vibration from the inside disc to creating the tips movement, either vertically, horizontally. So there is a lot of creating the hit. So when you touch to the any surgical site without water, it creating a lot of heat and it damage to the tissue. So make sure that we testing this to water first before you doing anything. If there is another piezo surgery system without running the water, then you have to be putting the water to the tip, and then just you can see that there's a lot of vibration in the bottom. So that means without water, it will creating a lot of heat. So you can see the vibration. So it's very safe. But when you touch the softish surface, it just nothing happen. But when you're creating the hard part of the surface, something, I don't want to really touch that, but you can see the lot of holes to vibrate, and it's pneumatic actually, the movement. So it's a pneumatic function. So it's creating the surface to breaking down by the micro movement for the 20 to 30 seconds per second. I mean 20 to 30 vibration per second. Okay, so far, so this is the how to set up the handpiece to the tip, and then set up to the machine. So make sure that the vibration is good, high power, and then water is about 80 to 100, but we set up 80, and then the power of the vibration force is 45, and this is what the piezoelectric surgery. Now let's demonstration for the how to utilize this the piezoelectric surgical tip. This is a saw tip. Actually, it's very useful to make lateral window in the sinus and rigid spreading procedure. So the key thing is make sure that before you touch it, you run the machine like this, and then you cannot stay one place like this. They're creating the heat to the bony necrosis. So what you should do is make a good fulcrum, and then you touch the running, and then just kind of moving smoothly like this, kind of like a brushing to the procedure. You can see now the cutting very defined line, and then you can change the direction, and then you can do like this. Okay, so the important point is you have to continue to move. Don't stay to one side and pushing it. And you have a light pressure, but not pushing so hard, or not too much pressure, it doesn't do anything. So this is very definite surgical instrument to define the outline and then all the detailed surgery. So this one was previous was showing as a saw tip. This is a saw tip, and then we'll change it to the different coracotomy, most osteotomy, and decorticate and cutting the bone. This is a Son 016, so that's smaller, the size of the head of tip. And then same way to we do the circle part to the square part to lock in, and then just tight the handpiece again. So the same thing, this one we go through the, before touch the bone, you just run it and just go in, and then just like circular motion, and then lightly, so you can see. So not too much pressure, but just enough to touch. Once you pass through the corrugate the bony structure, then easy to get into the soft part. So it's very useful to get decorticate or make an initial hole for implant osteotomy on the very detailed part. So you can see the proportion of the corrugate to the cortical bone, and also the initial osteotomy. If you very close to nerve, is a very useful tool, because remember the hard tissue part you can break down the piezo because of the vibration. But if you soft tissue part, even though you touch it, nothing happens. That's why you're using a lot on sinus, when you elevate the sinus membrane, initial coracotomy, even though you touch the membrane, it doesn't cut it. That's why you're using it as a sinus procedure to the this piezoelectric surgery.